What's up, Aries? I'm Chris. Welcome to your weekly tarot scope for the week of March 18th to the 24th. All right, let's go ahead and jump in, Aries, and see what we've got in store for you this week. Aries. March 18th to the 24th. All right, Aries, so our first card up here is the Five of Wands. So this week, especially in the beginning, expect to feel a little conflict with others. This card coming up here like this, there's going to be some disagreements. There's going to be some petty fights and some petty arguments. With the Five of Wands, I always see it as clashing of egos and a difficulty with people with conflicting interests to sort of get together. And work harmoniously and work in a way that is collaborative. So I think that Aries, and I think part of what I'm seeing here is it comes from a sort of inner state that I think might not be feeling great right now. There's a lot of like inner conflict, inner confusion, and I think some of that might lash out or might leak out rather into your relationships with others this week. So Aries, be mindful of the ways that you might be putting energy into fights and conflicts that don't need to be the way that don't need to be confrontational, that don't need to be a conflict. See how maybe in certain ways you might be projecting some of your inner stress, inner turmoil onto your relationships with other people. A good week, especially in the beginning, to just kind of lay low, let petty things pass. Find ways to just release and not hold on to too much stress, because in the middle of the week we have the Ace of Cups. So now for some of you guys, I think that this is going to be conflicts with lovers and difficulties maybe making things happen harmoniously with someone you love. But now what this says to me is like towards the middle of the week, Aries, there's a peace of mind that comes with the Ace of Cups. There's like a settled bit of emotions. So I see like whatever conflict starts off this week, I think you're just not going to be in the mood for it, Aries. I think you're just not going to want to deal with it, and you're going to be focused on the things that make you happy. Middle of the week, I think expect to spend time with loved one. I also feel like for a lot of you, there's going to be some sort of gesture of love that makes you feel like this welling of love inside, that you're cared for, that people want your best interest in mind. Or have your best interests in mind. So definitely a lightening up to the beginning of the week where starts out a little difficult. I think this is also getting close and spending time with the people who really matter. And I think that's partly what I see so far for what this week has in store for you guys, is a sort of coming to an understanding of who's important to you, what's petty, what's not worth your time, what's not worth your effort and your energy. And rounding out the week, Aries, with the Hierophant. So for some of you, this might be dealing with a Taurus person. And for the rest of you, I think part of what's going on here is that Aries is moving up in life, right? We're about to start your season. I think you guys have your eyes on the goal. You guys are really focused on moving up in the world. With the Hierophant, we do feel an energy of growth, of evolution, of moving up the ladder, of sort of taking strides and making accomplishments in the material world, in the social hierarchies. So Aries, I think by the end of the week into the weekend, you're going to be feeling a lot more settled. I think you're going to be working on business ideas. You're going to be working on your money. You're just going to be putting effort. Some of you might just be like, looking for a new house. Whatever it is, Aries, it's leveling up in a big way. So by the end of this week, you're going to have your eye on what needs to change, right? What needs to change so that you can avoid being in this place of conflict and this place of turmoil. And get to live in a place where you feel love for yourself, for your surroundings, for the people around you. At the bottom of the deck, Aries, for the week, we have the Empress. So really motivated by getting to a place of love. Especially some of you are definitely dealing with a Taurus here, right? With the Taurus card, and now the energies of Venus and the Empress. But either way, Aries, you can expect that, I think what's happening now is you're trying to find a place where you feel loved, where you feel comfortable. It's like your standards are improving and increasing for what makes you thrive, what makes you feel abundant. You're looking for sort of abundance mindset here with the Empress. Just seeing life as something that like is full of love and full of opportunity and full of like dope stuff that makes you feel really good. So Aries, that's what you got in store for the week of March 18th to 24th. Have a great week, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Hey Taurus.
I'm Chris. Welcome to your weekly reading for March 18th to the 24th. All right, let's go ahead and jump in and see what we've got in store for you guys this week. What do we have in store? Insight, advice, and guidance for the sign of Taurus. Okay, Taurus, so starting off the week, we have the Ten of Pentacles. So what we're doing here is we're feeling comfortable in what we've created. We feel strong, we feel protected, we feel really, I think this is like the payoff of everything you've been working towards. I think you feel there's some moments, I think, early this week of validation, of getting something you've been working hard towards, of being able to sit back and kick back and look at your life and be like, yeah, I did that, you know. With the Ten of Pentacles, he's very comfortable and he's worked his ass off. This is a dude who just is really comfortable in his life, but it's because of the work he's done and what he's created. So Taurus, I think the beginning of the week, you're going to start to feel, more than anything, even if it's not seeing, it's feeling the gratification of what you've created. It's feeling the payoff for what you've done and what you've been working towards. And in the middle of the week, we have a little sadness here with the Five of Cups. This card popping up here, I think that things in your material worlds, Taurus, are going to feel okay. I think you're going to be like comfortable and like the work you've been doing is paying off. But then there comes some sadness here in the middle of the week. So I think that there's like this up and down with your emotions this week, where there's this emotional fluctuation. I always say with Taurus, you guys need to feel like secure in your life before you can pay attention to your emotional world. And I think this week, Taurus, especially in the middle, you're going to be having to pay attention to your emotional world. I think things are going to be coming up for you that do bring a little bit of sadness, do bring a little bit of regret. Questions about, did you do the right thing? Questions about if what you've been working for, besides the material element of it, is worth it. There's a little bit of sense of loneliness, a little bit of sense of isolation here with the Five of Cups. But I think in this, Taurus, you find what you're grateful for. And you start to find, it's like almost a rock bottom moment emotionally, where now you have to pick yourself up out of it. And how do you pick yourself up out of it is seeing, learning to see the good sides, right? Like making I knew someone who would like do gratitude lists when he was really upset. Like gratitude lists, like counting your blessings in a way to remind yourself of what you have to offer and of how rich your life is, and how actually, when you stop to think about it, how full of love your life is. Whether you're having difficulties in a romantic situation or whatever, there's other parts of your life where you can feel the love this week, Taurus. And at the end of the week, we have the Ten of Wands. So moving from this place of this 10 of comfort and stability to this 10 of now hard work and discipline, I think, Taurus, this week, I think your shadow comes into view. I think like maybe the ways you've been in certain ways hurting yourself or holding yourself back because of stress you've been putting on yourself, because of pressures you've been putting on yourself. I think those things become really apparent. And I think towards the end of the week, there's this balancing act that I think is being asked of you this week, Taurus, where now we don't just look, because this is sort of like work that is just backbreaking, right? It's work that's not really bringing you pleasure and satisfaction. And now I think, Taurus, this week, if we could sum it up here, has you looking at the other parts of your life that bring fulfillment, other things in your life where you can try to find happiness, you could try to find love and joy, where the things you've been working for take on meaning, right? Your goals take on meaning. And here, Taurus, we have the Prince of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So I think some of you might be dealing with air sign people who maybe put you in this kind of place. Otherwise, I think what's happening here is that you're really ready to move forward in a big, strong way with the Prince of Swords. He's ready to take action. He's ready to get shit done. And it's like right now, like the time is now, Taurus. I think now is the time for you to be diving in deep into what your life is going to look like for the rest of the year, and accounting for what's happened and accounting for where you're going. This is a card of vision. This is a card of clarity of vision, and the force that makes it possible for you to now drive yourself forward. So that's kind of what's underlying all of this. So even if the week does feel a little tough at times, Taurus, understand that in this toughness, it's like a learning opportunity for you to figure out how now you add meaning, and how now you add purpose to your life in a way that sort of brings a little bit of rosiness to how everything around you feels. All right, Taurus, you have a great week. I'll talk to you soon. What's up, Gemini? I'm Chris. Welcome to your weekly reading from March 18th to the 24th. Starting off our week, Gemini, we have the Six of Swords. So I think part of what's been happening during this Mercury retrograde is that we've looking back at our life, and we're seeing what doesn't fit anymore and what we're ready to move on from. And I think the beginning of this week is going to have us feeling like we're moving on from a lot in a big way. Things are going to be coming to light right now, experiences you might have been having recently that kind of show you what you're done with and what you're ready to move towards. The Six of Swords, it brings a sort of clarity. It brings a sort of big picture vision of the stuff that you're going through right now, and how navigating that actually, in the meantime, even if it feels a little rocky, ultimately brings us to a place of calm, of pleasure, of satisfaction, of grounding, and all that stuff. So Gemini, really encouraging to see that, you know, this week we're moving forward, letting the past go in a really important way, in a way that leads towards growth and healing with temperance, and assimilating all of our lessons. And this week, I think, especially in the middle, it's going to feel a sort of calmness. Both of these cards bring a sort of calm and calm, cool, collected kind of feeling. So mid the week, I think you're going to feel very relaxed. I think things are going to feel like they're finally clicking into place. I think you're going to have a good sense of what you're meant to do and what your purpose is, and things that were maybe feeling heavy or difficult for you, I think start to lighten up and start to make bring happiness. I think this week, especially when we're starting with Aries season in the middle of the week, right? All this tumultuousness that we've gone through in Pisces season. Now, as we enter Aries season, we assimilate all that. We take our lessons. We've done our healing, and we've done a reflection. And now, with the start of this season, with the start of spring, we're ready to just like move forward in a big way. And Aries, look, Aries, Gemini, ending out the week with the Nine of Cups. So much pleasure, so much happiness, so much fulfillment, so much satisfaction. Really, Gemini, I think the theme here, not just this week, it feels like this is a reading that's almost going into the future, like what's going into the spring and all that. A newfound happiness, a newfound place of satisfaction and contentment. I think Gemini things have felt a little rocky. They were feeling like they were getting better, and then it still like wasn't feeling like we were out of tough waters here. But now, rounding out the week, expect a lot of pleasure, expect a lot of fun, expect a lot of satisfaction with what you've been creating, what you've been working towards, and the things that you've been bringing into being. The bottom of the deck, Gemini, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So especially with regards to anything that is business oriented or career oriented or money oriented, I think that right now what is fueling us and what is partly pushing you to move forward is that you kind of recognize that there needs to be this state of calm, of balance, of being centered and feeling secure and feeling stable, in order to bring your dreams into manifestation, in order to create all the things that you've been trying to create in the material world that are now going to be reflective of this new place that you feel, this new emotional place where you're feeling like powerful and driven and full of purpose, and life feels full of meaning, and everything that's happened now takes a new meaning to it, and now things open up, and opportunities present themselves, and the payoff starts to be felt this week for everything that you've been working towards, Gemini. All right, love you guys, have a great week, talk to you soon. What's up, Cancer? I'm Chris. Welcome to your Taroscope for the week of March 18th to the 24th. All right, Cancer. So a big week, starting off with death. With death, it brings tremendous change, and change that I think you've been ready for, and change that feels like it's just time. It's time to let things go. It's time to move forward in a big way. I think the start of spring, Cancer, coming this week, and Aries season as well, moves us into a place, I think with you guys, into a place of action, into a place of readiness to take advantage, to start new things. So some of you might be starting something brand new this week, or still in the process of just moving on from what once was to something to what now is going to be for you. But whatever it is, Cancer, I think that it's time. I think that you're ready for it, and I think that this has been a long time in the making, and now it's time to actually embrace where we're going, and then we have the Hangman, right? So talk about growth. So here, what I love about these cards is that and usually it's in the other direction where you have death and then temperance, where it's just like a healing. But here with the Hangman coming after death, I think there's a time during the middle of the week, especially where not all the reflection is not done. I think this middle of the week, Cancer, is going to have you guys having to take some time out, having to rest, having to contemplate and consider what new place you're in, and kind of how you adjust to it and how you adapt to the way your life is now. With the Hangman coming in the middle there, I think there's going to be some confusion. I think there's going to be some experiences of I know what no longer is, but I still have to. I'm still kind of in the process of figuring out what is going to be. So with that in the middle of the week here, Cancer, it asks you to take some time out. It asks you to reflect. It asks you to allow yourself a little bit of a break. I think with all this change, Cancer, you might be feeling a little overwhelmed. You might be feeling a little overly stimulated, and taking a break in the middle of the week, Netflix and chilling, literally in the way that people take it, right? If you want to, that's your thing, but I meant more like kicking back with the bottle of wine, binge watching a favorite show, just like really taking time to relax and collect yourself. Because you see, at the end of the week, Cancer, we have the Magician. So going into super creative mode. So this is what I felt here, right? With death, that it's sort of a preparation for what comes next and what is going to be created. And right in the middle, Cancer, to get to this place where you feel truly empowered, where you feel ready to really embrace this new way of life and embrace what's coming for you. Which I think going to this weekend, you will have some finite things that are taking place, so things that you can see in the material world that are manifesting for you. All it takes is a little bit of a break. If you're feeling emotional, if you're feeling overwhelmed, Cancer, just pull back and allow yourself a rest. Allow yourself to nurture yourself. What was I saying about what comes after death? Temperance. At the bottom of the deck, Cancer, we have Temperance. So what's really fueling this all is that you are healing and you are moving on to something bigger and greater, and you're very optimistic, you're very hopeful about the future, and you have reason to be here with this card, right? But just keep in mind that everything that's happening, yes, you are ready for your next steps, and this is big time growth, big time movement, big time evolution, life-changing for the rest of your life, Cancer. So be gentle with yourself in the process. This week you will feel, it's like, I feel like a train is on the tracks and it's just starting to gain momentum, and you've dropped all this dead weight, and you're just making sure like the plans for ahead are in good order, and then you're going to be flying forward and creating everything that you wanted, creating dreams, making fun times. I feel like with this card, I feel like opportunities to just live in the world as your best self, and you're going to feel this like joie de vivre at the end of the week here, Cancer. All right. Cancer, wish you the best. Have the best week ever. I'll talk to you soon. What's up, Leo? I'm Chris. Welcome to your weekly reading for the week of March 18th to the 24th. All right, so Leo, starting off the week, we have the Knight of Swords. This tells me that you guys are really ready to take action. The beginning of the week, I think, feels you fired up. I think it sees you moving towards, I think, something even concrete with regards to, I feel, particularly with your work and your business, or just something that needs a concrete step forward. So whether that's something with a job or something with, I feel like something like paperwork or something like that, like something very official that happens this week, something that really starts off your week feeling enthusiastic and energized and ready to take over the world, Leo, here. With this Prince of Swords energy also, I think that you are really trusting your gut and you're trusting your intuition, and changes that are happening now for you have been things that you've been thinking about for a long time, and you've wanted to be careful, you've wanted to be prudent, but now it's time to say, it's time to make moves. So anything that you've been waiting on, Leo, to make a move on, this week is a perfect time to take that first step, to make that initiation. We have the beginning of Aries season and the beginning of spring, which is all about starting. So with the Knight of Swords, starting off your week, Leo, really starting, really putting into action something that I think that you've been working on or considering for quite some time. And in the middle of the week, we have the Princess of Cups. So for some of you guys, this might be making moves towards a relationship, something that, someone you've been interested in for a while, and now it's time to like ask them out or something like that. But also I think, Leo, with you as the Princess of Cups, it brings a sort of a loving, playful, flirtatious energy. Middle of the week for you, Leo, is just a time to have fun. I think some of you are going to be feeling romantically invigorated. So if you're in a relationship, feeling like you're very taken care of, and maybe have a cute little date night in the middle of the week. For others of you, maybe just meeting somebody. This beginning of love, this sort of offer of love, this sort of a new sense of feeling enthusiastic about love, and feeling really, all this could be, Leo, is someone telling you you're cute, and then like it makes you feel like real excited and make you feel real sexy and attractive and flirty, and it's like a pick-me-up to your system, a pick-me-up to your ego and to your passion right now. Ending out the week here with the Seven of Pentacles. So as much as things feel like personally in a way, Leo, things are going well, I think by the end of the week you're going to feel a little dissatisfaction with the Seven of Pentacles. With this card, we're looking at things where we're waiting for payoff, we're putting energy and time into something and waiting to see if it's going to materialize. And my sense here looking at this card, Leo, is that for you guys there's going to be a little bit of a disappointment here. I think that there is going to be something that happens at the end of the week that makes you feel like maybe something you've been putting some energy into, relationships that you've been putting energy into, are just not going to turn out the way that you want them to. In that sense, though, Leo, the important part is to recognize that you're moving forward, and the Knight of Swords kind of stumbles as he goes along sometimes, right? Because he just is all action, like act first, think later. So like this momentum is not going to derail you. I think you might have a moment where you're a little bummed, but I think ultimately you're going to be looking towards what's next, right? All these little things are dead on the vine. You're going to rip them out and say, okay, now at least I know that that's not gonna work out. So what can I do from here? Where can I go from here? At the bottom of the deck, Leo, we have the Tower. So some difficult realizations that have been happening, I think, in your life, and some difficult things to process. I think some of you are going to maybe have some hard times with things that you difficulties with relationships, in terms of like just people you're connected to, not necessarily romantic, but like friends, family, coworkers, things like that don't feel like they're super paying off. And I think, Leo, what's happening here with the Tower at the bottom is that we're having realizations about what's not working. And we have to face, this week is a week of facing the truth. This week is a week of maybe having to make some tough choices about what to continue investing your time and energy into, whether that is a relationship situation, a friendship, or a job thing. Whatever that is, Leo, I think this week has you making some tough choices, but ultimately choices that lead you to standing in your truth and having a strong foundation for which to go forward from, and to make decisions that are in your best interest for the long term. but still some fun, right? As all don't it's not all doom and gloom here, right? Still some youthful energy, some bubbliness, especially in the middle of the week, feeling real like fun and sexy, and almost in the scope of that, like this thing is gonna again feel like a bummer, but like nothing that you can't pick yourself up from and quickly move forward from, right? All right, Leo, have the best week ever. I'll talk to you soon. What's up, Virgo? I'm Chris. Welcome to your weekly reading for March 18th to the 24th. All right, so Virgo, starting off the week with the Fool, I think has you feeling a little lighthearted. I think that there's a sort of, you guys can be a sign that overthinks and feels very critical and feels like a lot of stress and pressure. And I think that the beginning of the week has you sort of with a lightness of spirit. I think that things have been going well for you. I think that you've been feeling really good right now. And with the Fool, it's like an attitude of being ready to start like a new chapter of your life. A new chapter that's defined by things that I think now, Virgo, are bringing you happiness and bringing you fulfillment, and bringing you the drive, right? I think that you guys are feeling really driven to explore life, to expand your life, and to follow your instincts and trust in like your heart and what your heart is telling you. But ultimately, I feel like a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, a lot of pleasure here, right? In the middle of the week, Virgo, of course, we have to go back to work. So in this, Virgo, I think that there is a sense here this week of reorienting your careers, figuring out exactly what you do for a living is going to actually bring you pleasure and joy and happiness. I think you're in such a place in the beginning of the week, Virgo, of happiness that you kind of want that to bleed over into all areas of your life. So even if you're satisfied with, like, let's say how much you get paid for work, maybe wanting to get paid more, or maybe just wanting to move into a space where you're now doing something that feels like is your happiness, is your passion, is your joy, is bringing you somehow some more pleasure. But Virgo, I do see here an emphasis on work, especially in the middle of the week. But I think that in that work, it's not just putting your head down and moving forward and like going through the motions of your work. It's actually coming into a place where you now figure out what you want, what's your joy, what is your bliss, right? And moving towards more happiness and more satisfaction and more contentment in your professional life. King of Swords, man, super focused on what is going to be making you happy, super focused on making things a reality, moving up to the next level. This end of the week, Virgo, has you guys with like your mental skills on fleek. I don't even know if people say that anymore, but just like sharp and focused and driven, and I think especially with this going into the weekend with regards to your career and what you want to accomplish for your life, having your thoughts on the future, being very serious about what you want to create, being very unstoppable in terms of making things happen. It's like ain't nobody telling you nothing this week, Virgo. Ain't nobody gonna be able to get in your way. Ain't nobody gonna check you. You're just on fire and like in super manifesting mode, but in a way that brings to light things that are bringing you joy and things that are bringing you happiness. The bottom of the deck, Virgo, the Ace of Pentacles. So I think you're really being fueled right now by a desire to create something new and to have new business opportunities, have new ways of making money. I think some of you might be looking towards other jobs. Some of you might be looking to grow like your passions or your side projects, or whatever it is, Virgo. This is a big week of leveling up financially and leveling up in terms of, I think, your standards for what you're willing to accept for yourself, and how you're willing to live your life, and which with regards to how we work, like how what we do for a living is most of our life, right? We work 5 days a week, 40 hours a week at work, and I think this week brings into focus for you how to make the most of that time. Again, whether it's making more money or whether it's doing something more pleasurable and meaningful or enjoyable to you, or working on a side hustle, whatever it is, Virgo. I think that this is a week of that pleasure that you've been feeling, the happiness, the lightness of spirit, things that were bothering you before no longer bothering you, motivating you to go to new heights and take no prisoners in the process, Virgo, because you a boss this week. Love you guys. Have the best week ever. I'll talk to you soon. What's up, Libra? I'm Chris. Welcome to your reading for the week of March 18th to the 24th. All right, guys. So starting off the week, we have death. So I think for some of you, there's obviously a sense of release and letting go, and I think for a lot of you guys that you're just done, right? Like I think you're having moments and experiences this week, especially in the beginning, where you're just like, why am I still putting up with this? Why am I still living my life this way? Why am I allowing these things to burden me and to make me so unhappy and to make me feel so much like life is a burden as opposed to being uplifting? So if you guys have been in that place, starting off the week here, Libra, really ready to release, really ready to more so than release, look towards what's next. It's like you're on the verge of a new chapter of your life. You're on the verge of like this wide open, like I just feel a possibility here, Libra, for you to take your life and change it into something so different from what you're used to right now. So for some of you, that's going to be letting go of old ideas and habits. Some of you, that's going to be letting go of I think like fixed mindsets. You might have questions early this week, like, why have I just been accepting that this is the way things are? Why have I been accepting that, you know, this is the way life has to be? Why do I have to live here? Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to be with this person? Those sort of revelations, I think, coming early this week, Libra, in a way that allows you to move forward and to create. And middle of the week, Libra, we're moving towards the Ten of Pentacles, and we're looking at what makes you comfortable, what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel secure. I think a lot of you are going to have your eyes this week on your money and your finances and what you do for a living, and how the money you're making is actually helping or hurting the quality of your life. The Ten of Pentacles here is a quality of life card. We're looking at not just the work we do, but the pleasure it brings us, the comfort it brings us, like all the things that all the work we do allows us to create in our lives, right? Happiness, home, fun, love, all that stuff. So Libra, I think the middle of this week is going to see you, or this whole week in general, seeing you really pivot to a new place of being focused on your happiness, being focused on your joy, being focused on what brings you pleasure, being focused on what changes you have to make in your world to bring more pleasure and to bring more happiness and to bring more satisfaction. I think, Libra, it's time to be done with something. And it's time to move forward, and it's time to really take seriously. My cat is ripping up stuff on my floor. I'm going to kill her. Really take seriously the potential that you have available to you. Like, it's like your life is like this wide open void, this expanse where you just get to fill it with whatever you want. Knight of Wands, ending out the week, Libra. So I think ending this week feeling really good about yourself, feeling really confident, feeling like, I was going to say cocky a little bit with the Knight of Wands, but also the Knight of Wands is making strides towards the things that are fulfilling, making strides towards his ambitions, making strides towards what he wants to make into reality. So Libra, I think this is the end of the week, you first of all just feeling yourself, and second of all feeling really sure of your ability to now create the life that you want, looking towards the things that are coming out there in your life that are going to bring you satisfaction, are going to bring you fulfillment, are going to be realizing your ambitions this week. At the bottom of the deck is the Four of Pentacles. So Libra, I think that you've been stuck too long. I think that you've been in place too long. I think that there are some situations in your life, whether professional, I think most of it is going to be professional and financial, but I think in your life overall, this week you're really feeling like you've been like static. You've been a little like almost like, why haven't I taken this step yet? Why haven't I changed? Why have I been so rooted in place that I haven't even been giving proper consideration to what I could be accomplishing and what I do want my life to be? So Libra, this week is a week, I think, to shake loose of that, to shake loose of the things that you've taken as the status quo, shake loose any complacency, any, what's the word? Apathetic attitudes that you've had maybe in life right now, and really just being a boss and being confident and being almost a little arrogant, and because it's the energy you need, it's the fire you need to feel like you're capable and able to do whatever you want right now. All right, Libra, have the best week ever. I love you so much. I'll talk to you soon. What's up, Scorpio? I'm Chris. Welcome to your reading for the week of March 18th to the 24th. All right, now Scorpio, starting off the week with Seven of Cups. With this card, we're kind of stuck in a place of illusion, of recognizing. I think what this is actually for you guys this week is recognizing where things have not been honest, where the truth is more than what it appears to be. Having some revelations, I think, about ways that situations or people may have been misleading you, maybe making you feel, or maybe you've been feeling, I think, a little bit stuck in this world where you're not quite sure what's up. You're not quite sure. There's some confusion here, right? There's some. Sorry, my cat. There's some confusion. There's some. I'm not quite sure of like which way is up right now, and I think you're becoming aware of that. And I think it's telling me here, Scorpio, that there are things in your life right now that you're becoming aware of as things that are holding you back, things that maybe you've taken for granted or taken as the status quo that don't necessarily have to be that anymore. I think here, Scorpio, really shaking yourself out of a place of illusion. Snapping out of it in a way, right? We are moving into Aries season out of Pisces season. Pisces season has been deep, and it's been like we're doing that deep dive, meaningful stuff. And I think this week we're ready to come out of that. In the middle of the week, Scorpio, we have you in the King of Cups. So taking all the emotions that you've been dealing with, taking all the things you've been thinking about and considering, and in the King of Cups, we have a way to move forward in a way that's very balanced and stable and secure. With the King of Cups, your eyes on abundance. Some of you might have been, in work situations or love situations where you're not getting what you were supposed to be getting, whether that's like pay or reciprocation of energy from, either business or recognition, or in your love life, maybe not getting what you're supposed to from the other person. This week has you asserting what you need and standing firmly in that, standing very grounded, and in the middle of the week, I think feeling opportunities for abundance and feeling opportunities for doing more and receiving more, and knowing that you deserve it in a way, knowing that you've earned it, knowing that you are in a place with the kings, we're in a place of mastery, and we're in a place of accomplishment. And I think you're going to be feeling your expertise this week, Scorpio, and being really willing to see, now, what does that earn me? What do I get? How much respect do I garner? How much does my experience garner? How much income does what I've been doing do I deserve for? Ending out the week, Scorpio, though, with the Devil. So I think that part of this new place you're going to be finding yourself in of deserving a lot more. With that, I think comes some harsh things and some harsh feelings. I think that there could be some anger that comes up. I think that the danger here, Scorpio, is to not allow yourself to so for some of you Scorpios, this is good, right? I always like the Devil. It's like he's a little fun, right? He's like a wild night out once in a while, right? So the Devil here, I think rounding out the weekend, it definitely suggests a little bit of wild energy here. Definitely a lot of play, a lot of for some of you, it's lighthearted play. For others of you, I think that this is going into a dark, angry place that you need to be careful about. For all of you guys, no matter whether you're having fun or just kind of brooding, be very conscious of this week, because we are in a place of stability and emotional security. Be very conscious of ways that you're hurting yourself. Be very conscious of the way certain attitudes you have or ideas that you have are self-defeating. This to me is a card of self-defeat, Scorpio. Be very careful of slipping into a place where things feel so overwhelming and so like kind of negative that you go somewhere that you don't really want to go this week. Bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups. So I think what's going on here is that there is this sort of emotional purging that's happening. There's this grieving in a way. I feel like with this card, which is not typically how I think of it, but a sort of catharsis to your energy, a catharsis to your emotions, purging, if you will. And so all of this is good, Scorpio, and I think that's why you have this realization of ways that maybe you've been getting played or jerked around. I think that you've come into your power, though, and demand or able to assert your desire for abundance and what you deserve. but just don't let it get too carried away. Be careful this week, Scorpio, of letting this sort of like feeling of illusion put you into a place where now you're in escapism mode, and you're doing kind of harm to yourself. Have a little fun, let it out in a safe way, in a productive way, in a cathartic way, but you know, be careful about going too deep, too dark. All right, Scorpio, have the best week ever. I love you so much. I'll talk to you soon. What's up, Sagittarius? I'm Chris. Welcome to your reading for the week of March 18th to the 24th. All right, Sagittarius, starting off the week with the Queen of Swords. I think that there's a couple of things going on here. I think, first of all, you guys are standing in your truth in a big way. I think that you're not letting anybody get in your way right now. I think that you're not victim to flights of fancy or delusion or being misled. So I think that it's a great place to start, where you're just like crystal clear about what's going on and crystal clear about what you need to do. I think some of you this week, especially in the beginning of the week, are going to be, if you're not actually actively cutting connections to things, becoming aware of what no longer serves, becoming aware of how you've been wronged and what needs to be released for you right now. The Queen of Swords energy, there's a very powerful sense of taking control over what you need, and that's because you are being honest, because you're being truthful with yourself, because you're being truthful about what it is that you need, and being truthful about you know, where you are and what's necessary right now. So starting off the week, Sagittarius, with big gung-ho energy of being ready for what's next, being ready to assert, like, in this new place that you find yourself in right now, what's acceptable to you and what's not. In the middle of the week, Sagittarius, we have the Two of Pentacles, so finding some stability and balance, right? I think that this is what we're working towards right now, Sagittarius. You guys are a sign of ambition, where you like to try things out and be a little risky sometimes and explore. But I think right now the emphasis is on security. It's on balancing different parts of your life. It's about bringing yourself into a place of wholeness, a sense of stability, right? So taking your career, taking your finances this week very seriously, and sort of understanding how things that were no good for you, people that were no good for you, situations that were no good for you, were in a way impeding your ability to be as strong and be as powerful and be as bring as much into being as you've been wanting to, as you are capable of bringing into being. And finding in your relationships some stability. So this is a good week, I think, in the middle of the week, Sagittarius, to take some time with good friends, to talk to family, to sort of get out of your head a little bit, I think, and use other people this week, especially in the middle, as a sounding board for what comes next for you, and how to find more stability and how to become a little more balanced and grounded. Ending out the week, Sagittarius, with the Princess of Wands. So I love this. This is like pure Sagittarius energy to me with the Princess of Wands. She's a go-getter. She lets nothing get in her way. Nothing stands in her way. Nothing can stop her. Feeling super sexually realized, feeling ambitious, feeling just ready to take on the world. And so, to me, what I'm looking at here when I see the Sagittarius is a sort of strengthening that happens this week. This sort of, once you release things that no longer serve and find stability and balance, now you're your most fiery, passionate self, where now that optimism kicks into high gear, with that almost reckless sense of making stuff happen and putting yourself out into the world. It's like you find yourself again this end of the week, Sagittarius. You find this source of pleasure, this source of fire that's been in you all this time, but maybe dwelling a little underneath the surface, because you've been focusing so much, Princess of Pentacles, you've been focusing so much on really practical things, on how to take the first steps forward, on what with regards to your business and your life and your finances, your career, that you've been wanting to create for yourself. Really building a dream, I think, for a while now, building a vision of what it is that you want, and building a vision of what life has in store for you right now. And so this week, Sagittarius, finding comfort, finding stability. You might have to make some harsh cuts in the early of the week or in the beginning of the week, or at least come to understandings about things that no longer work. But we've been talking about this for a while already, Sag. I mean, in our monthly readings, but now we find stability. All right, Sag. Have a great week. I love you so much. I'll talk to you soon. What's up, Capricorn? I'm Chris. Welcome to your weekly reading from March 18th to the 24th. All right, guys. So starting off the week, we have the Hangman. So I think for a lot of Capricorns, you guys have been feeling a sort of restless energy. I think that there's been a sense of things not moving quite the way you want to. And in the beginning of the week, I think with the Hangman here, it sort of hits a point where you're not going to stand for it. Like, it's becoming so frustrating. It's becoming so overwhelming. Even if it's not negative, I just think there's an energy here at Capricorn this week where you're going to want to go. And you're tired of, we were just in Pisces season. Now we're moving into Aries season. Pisces is here in Neptune ruling this card, where we kind of are dwelling in our thoughts. We're kind of looking for meaning. We're sort of going deep. And I think this week, it's only the first card, but I think what I see for you already, Capricorn, is that this week we're coming out of that place of reflection. And I think the Hangman starting off this reading is saying that we're ready to move forward and we're ready to take the lessons that we've experienced. We're willing to the growth that we've experienced, the reflection that you've been doing, now ready to make moves and make things happen. I feel with this, there's almost a sense of frustration. So if you do feel a little frustration, Capricorn, that's good. I think use it and channel it into making big strides and making like concrete steps forward for what needs to happen. A Nine of Wands in the middle of the week. So I think that, guys, especially in some of your work situations, you're going to be feeling a little beaten down with the Nine of Wands. But with the Nine of Wands, also especially with this deck with the eyes on the top of the wands, it feels to me like it brings a sort of clarity, and it brings a sort of truth, and it brings a sort of understanding. And also what I'm seeing in this card is someone who, remember how I said, like, if you've been feeling stuck, it sort of is motivation. With the way that this guy's looking here right now, it feels like he's very determined. He's very determined to change things around, very determined to take control of things, right? So some of you guys might be, and also feel like erecting this sort of like emotional or psychic sort of barrier to yourself, where you are not letting outside influences affect you adversely. It's sort of maybe, even though we are coming out of a state of being within, it's a sort of being within now that's fueled with action and purpose, and a desire to make change, and a desire to manifest, and a desire to put your ambition into being, put your drive into next level. I feel like it's like a stick shift, where now you're like shifting from first gear into second gear, and now it's building momentum and lots of clarity about what needs to happen next. Maybe moments this week, in the middle of the week especially, that bring to light what needs to happen. Rounding out the week, we have the King of Wands. So what was I just saying here, Capricorn? This card is all about intense focus and drive and ambition. It's about channeling your will and using all these. I think here there's a connection with things that haven't been working out, and things that have been feeling heavy, and situations that just are becoming clearer to you are not for you anymore, and maybe you're keeping you held in place. Now with the Knight of Wands, King of Wands, we're moving forward fast, and we're moving forward with aggression, but like aggression in a good way, and aggression in a way where we're channeling a lot of frustration and anger and restlessness into really creating something new. So Capricorn, I think with the end of this week here, I think some of you might be looking for new work. I think some of you might be ready to take big strides. So maybe it's moving or getting a new job, or moving your career to a different level. But intense focus and intense drive to go to the next level. At the bottom of the deck here, Capricorn, we have the Four of Swords. So with this card here, I think what's been going on again, there's been a long period of reflection and thought and stillness, right? I think that for me, looking at this card, this often represents peace of mind and stability and harmony and centeredness. But coming from a place of where you've been, Capricorn, I think that this is like, okay, I've been thinking long enough. I've been internal too much. I've been still and calm for too long. you're not ready. It's not about being calm anymore. We're moving to Aries season. We're moving into the spring. The fire is coming back to the world, and I think that we're ready, Capricorn, this week to really take off and use all of the things that you've learned in the past few months, as motivation for what comes next for you. All right, Capricorn, have the best week ever. I'll talk to you guys soon.
What's up, Aquarius?
I'm Chris. Welcome to your weekly reading for the week of March 18th to the 24th. All right, so Aquarius, starting off your week with the Empress. So in the beginning of the week, I feel like there's a big focus for you guys on pleasure, on love, on happiness. I think you guys are going to be having some really nice experiences. I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're going to be like feeling very comfortable with loved ones, feeling very secure, feeling very like abundant. Like it feels like things have been paying off. I feel like you're the overwhelming emotion here is how much you're cared for, how much you're loved, how much you are thought highly of. It's like very supportive energy, whether it's a friend or a romantic partner or family. Starting off this week, Aquarius, feeling like really strong, feeling very powerful, feeling very safe and secure. And I think what happens here is that those feelings are kind of like a necessary little like what's the word I'm looking for, respite. I'm mixing up my words. It's like a little refuge where it kind of encourages you to be more and do more. I think you guys maybe have been needing a little like of a rest, like emotionally and physically. And this beginning of the week is a time for you to rest and for you to feel love. And I think that going forward, we're going to be in manifesting mode. Middle of the week, Aquarius, we have the Five of Swords. So some conflict, especially inner turmoil, right? I think some of you guys, this is what I was sort of saying, there's a period of rest, and then now it's almost like you know that you're going into battle. With the Five of Swords, I think that there's some really difficult situations, especially with other people. I think that Aquarius this week is going to have you a little bit, especially in the middle, in a place of mental turmoil and a place of mental confusion. With the Five of Swords there's a sense of obstacles, there's a sense of things being very difficult, things overwhelming odds. So you might have experiences at work or in relationships that make you feel sort of just defeated and sort of like maybe you don't have the energy, or maybe you can't quite take things on, and maybe it's a recognition this week, Aquarius, of what is draining you and what is taking away your power and what's taking away your energy. And I think in this card, as much as it sort of has this like hard feeling to it, I think it brings into light for you what needs to be let go of, what needs to be released, what at the very least, what the way forward looks like. So you start to get some idea of this shit's not working for me anymore. Where do I go from here? I'm done with this. I'm tired of these people. I'm tired of this place. It's not working. Next steps. Here, ending out the week here with the Hermit. So Aquarius, I think that this weekend is probably going to be a pretty quiet one for you. I think that this upset that happens for you in the middle of the week brings you to a place now where this is the reflection I was talking about. This is the idea of what's next. Where do I need to go from here? It's about assimilating experience, not just this week, but I actually think experiences that you've been having for maybe a few months now, that have been making, that have been stirring things up. It's as if like, you know how when you shake something up and the sediment floats up and then it kind of settles and things become clear? That's the energy I feel here, where this week, Aquarius, things are going to be clear. The things that have been happening to you are going to be put into new perspective. And you have to use your brain and use your powers of intellect this week, your wisdom, your experience, your judgment, to plan. That's what I feel like here, Aquarius, ending out this week with a big planning energy, with a big sense of like, this shit's not good for me. This is not what is making me happy. Where do I go? Here are the Two of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So it's been like you've been taking on a lot here, Aquarius. You've been really trying to manage all these different parts of your life and give, I think, equal energy to different things. And I think that the focus here, the thing I'm picking up here from this card is that the focus now needs to be on yourself, and the focus needs to be on one kind of singular thing, where you're not worried about how do I balance friends and dating and my career. It's like, it's like right now one thing takes precedent, one thing takes your energy. You need to take all of your brain power and focus and not juggle too much right now, but really put your energy into one singular thing. So maybe boyfriend or girlfriend has to like deal with not seeing you for a little while. Maybe job is donezo, and it doesn't deserve as much of attention anymore as you've been giving it. Whatever it is, Aquarius, it's a focusing of energy that brings you into a place of comfort and satisfaction and stability more than anything. I think this middle of the week upset is actually going to be good in a way that makes you now clear on what needs to be done. All right, Aquarius, have the best week ever. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
What's up, Pisces?
I'm Chris. Welcome to your weekly reading for the week of March 18th to the 24th. All right, now Pisces, so starting off the week with Temperance, I really love this for you guys. This means that there's been a lot of healing that's been taking place. I think that you're going to start this week feeling very invigorated, feeling very emotionally driven, very emotionally sound. I think that recent experiences has sort of, with your season, right, coming to an end this week, there's a sort of stability now. Like those waters have been churning so intensely for a long time, and now they start to calm. And now you start to feel balanced. You start to feel a little more stable than you have in a while. You start to feel really optimistic, I think, and hopeful, and very clear on what you're all about and what your life is all about right now. I think for some of you guys, there might be some big changes that have been happening. With Temperance, Temperance comes after death, so it comes after a big upset in our lives where we find stability and grounding again. So Pisces, I like this for you. I like starting off this week feeling very comfortable, feeling very secure, feeling very uplifted, I think, by recent experiences that you've been having, and feeling ready to tackle things, tackle life, and tackle the world in a new way this week. See, in the middle of the reading, we have Justice. So we have a lot of balance here with Justice. I think it's also, there's some fateful experiences that have been happening for you, Pisces. And I think the middle of this week with Justice, it's about getting what you deserve. So maybe for some of you, you've been doing a lot of hard work, and now you're experiencing, whether it's like professionally, emotionally, whatever. I think for some of you guys, this week you're going to start to feel the payoff of what you've been doing. I think for some of you, this is going to be internal work you've been doing, where now your life looks different on the outside, and now you're starting to see things differently and feel things differently in a way where it's like, I've deserved this, I earned this, I've worked for this. For some of you guys, this is going to be in your professional lives, right? Where a lot of efforts, I think we might get some validation this week. You might get some sense of people recognizing you and what you've been doing. I think more than anything though, Pisces, this is a recognition of self. And this is like, I feel almost with some of you guys, it's going to be like, I knew this is what I had to do. I knew that I was doing the right thing. I knew, like, you've been trusting your instincts. You've been trusting knowing what you need and when you need it. And now this week, especially in the middle of the week, you start to see that trusting of your instincts, that trusting of your inner self. I think it starts to pay off, and you start to see ways in which you've grown and evolved, and moving into the start of the new zodiac year, really ready to like take charge of your life, and really ready. I feel like this fired up energy with Pisces to just take care of business right now, right? Ending out the week, Pisces, with the Three of Swords. So with this weekend, I feel like there's a little bit of maybe some loneliness here, maybe some disagreements with others. With the Three of Swords, I think there's a conflict between head and heart when this card pops up. So for some of you guys going into the weekend, I think that there's a surprising amount of heaviness of emotion. I say heavy because I'm going on a trip with my Pisces friends for their birthday, and I thought, I hope, you know, with the Three of Swords ending up here at the end of the week, there's some hardships that I was not expecting. But in this opportunity, though, I think, Pisces, it's almost like this last bit of you know, you're feeling like you're out of the woods, and then all of a sudden certain things happen that make you realize maybe there's a little more work to be done, making you realize that you're not totally out of the clear. But I do think that this is like a last little thing, you know. It's like in those movies where you beat the hero beats the villain, and then like one last thing before they're free, right? Like they kill the bad guy, and then they still have to get out, and getting out is still like one of the most treacherous parts. So Pisces, I think we're still getting out of a place of difficulty. There might be some things that just remind you of something that brings up difficult feelings for you at the end of the week. At the bottom of the deck, we have the High Priestess. So this is exactly what's been fueling all this, guys. You've been going deep, you've been going within, you've been meditating and reflecting, and this is what I was saying about Pisces season now, going through that search for meaning, going through that search of purpose. Now this week we start to move out into the world in a way that gives all of this stuff that we've been doing, this inner reflection, gives it purpose, gives it drive. So Pisces, a big week here where we start to move forward and start to reap the rewards of what you've been sowing. Just beware a little bit of some difficult emotions at the end of the week. Be aware of some like feelings of conflict at the end of the week that might be a little heavy, but again, I think it's like it means you're almost in the clear, right? All right, Pisces, have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.